Can you? I know we want to be respectful, of course, because he passed. But can you speak to the blackballing that you experienced in the industry as a result of that situation?
I mean, I think Fat Joe blackballed me more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? His hateful ass, you just him, his fat ass being so fucking hateful, and you know the crazy part is I even got emails that I sent to his man, like his man trying to be on trying to talk to the motherfucker. Like, you feel me? Like, yo, let's have a conversation. I know you probably think that your fucking shit don't stink and that you way above me, but why you always mention me in subliminal ways? You know you talking about me. Like, come on, man. Rocket scientists can figure that shit out. But yo, why don't you try building with a brother Latino? You know what I'm saying? Like, we Latins, you know what I'm saying? This is the bullshit. You feel me? We Latino, we supposed to be strong or whatever, but you never like another Latin motherfucker shining. You feel me? And then I think what took the cake with him was my relationship with Cuban. You feel me?
All right. So before we get into all that, how did the situation with Joe start to begin with?
The situation with Joe started because him and Slade, they got along at one point. That's when they used to
Hmm.
call Slade the Black Fat Joe. You feel me?
Right.
And and they got along. They winded up parting ways because they still, you know, the story already. They got into the beef in the past, and they stopped fucking with each other. Slade never liked it, the motherfucker, from what I know. So
He never liked them, but he went by the Black Fat Joe anyways.
no, that was when they got along.
Oh, okay.
That's when they got along. That's when he was doing little shit for Fat Joe. They was
Hmm.
cool, and then they had the fallout. You feel me? And then they had their fallout, and they stopped fucking with each other. You feel me? So
And he really didn't like him at that point, so it wasn't minor; it was like serious.
yeah, they
Okay.
really wasn't seeing eye to eye. You feel me? So when they wasn't seeing eye to eye, it started with that already, their personal shit. Now, I never got in their personal shit or nothing like that. But if I could recall, as far as I could recall, when he put his hands on Pat and that whole shit happened with him and Pat, that's when it started getting a little bit more serious. You feel me? And me being the little idiot I was like, yo, what you want me to do? He's like, I don't give a fuck. Shit on that nigga. Diss that motherfucker. If you want to diss that motherfucker, diss him. So me being a little idiot, I
K
took
Slay told you to.
yeah,
He said if you want to, go ahead.
Slay would have never played nothing on the radio if he didn't approve of it. Am I right?
Right.
Then why did them diss tracks get played at the time I dropped them?
Makes sense.
Exactly. Everybody talk all that shit, but why did Slay play the diss tracks that I did with Fat Joe when I dropped them? When I dropped them, he played them. You feel me? So it's like, how how am I wrong on it? You feel me? That tells
So
me
did
something.
you really want to diss Joe, or you was just like, you know what, I'm riding for my man, and then that's what it
I
really
had to be
was.
I had to be truthfully honest. I was riding for my team. I'm a team,
Gotcha.
I'm a team player. You feel me? And where I come from, if that's my team, that's my team. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said at that point I was a little idiot because it was like Joe never did nothing to me. You feel me? At that point, he never did nothing to me. At that point, I ain't even know Cuban. You feel me? So I didn't know how cool I was and none of that shit. You feel me? But I started getting, I started getting hits from his people like, yo, why you dissing Joe and this and that. So why you dissing Joe, this and that. And I'm like, because I felt like fucking dissing him. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna say, Slade told me to. You feel me? I'm a team player. You know what I mean? At the
Right,
time.
right.
So when the situation with him and Pap happened, That's the second time that I really went hard on him. You feel me? And then he
And you and
started.
Pap were not really getting along at this time, were you?
You know what? I knew Pat was a funny dude, but we would still see each other and still acknowledge each other. We was on the
Okay.
same team. You feel me? So regardless of what it was, we was on the same team. We wasn't
Hmm.
hanging out. We wasn't buddy buddy or none of that shit. You feel me? But we was on the same team, so I had to be a team player. You feel me? Like,
Right.
and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't doing no goofy shit or none of that bullshit. I was still being, I was playing team ball. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't, it wasn't getting reciprocated. You know what I'm saying?
So you put out the diss tracks, and what is the response? Do you hear directly from Joe? Or you just hear from his people?
Well, Joe, that's the subliminal king. You feel me? So all you hear from Joe is subliminals, and then his people was the ones that was doing all the talking, and you know what I'm saying. And I was always in New York, so I was like, man, it's whatever. You feel me? Like I'll pull up to wherever y'all at. You feel me? My mindset was different. You know what I'm saying? Then at that time, I didn't give a fuck. I was inviting all kind of shit. You know what I mean? And that's when he wound up going to Philly to do a show, and he was on South Street, and he didn't know that the person that was working in one of the stores he went into was my little nephew. So my little nephew was like, "Yo, Fat Joe's in the store. You feel me? He about to buy some shit." So I'm on the line. I'm on the phone. So he was like, "Yo, Joe, what you think about Latin MCs?" So he was like, "Nah, they starting to come up. They doing their thing or whatever." So my nephew was like, "What you think about Joel Ortiz?" He was like, "Yeah, Joel Ortiz, that's my man. He cool. You feel me?" He said, "Yeah." He said, how about terminology?" He's like, "Yeah, he cool. Boom, boom, boom." He's like, "How about Big Lou?" They're like, "Oh, that's a big punk clone. Fuck that motherfucker." So my nephew,
Oh,
yeah.
so
So
you
I hear
heard
my,
it. You
yeah,
heard
I
it
heard
on
it.
the phone.
I
Wow.
heard it live through the phone. Like I heard it good and clear. So my nephew will tell you the story better. But my nephew was like, "Oh, you the one that bit pun style." You feel me? So now I'm telling my nephew, I'm like, "Damn, why you ain't tell me you was gonna go in like that, nigga? I'm about to fly over there." You feel me? And he was like, "Nigga, you the only one that bit pun shit, you fake ass." So he like, "Oh man, get the fuck out of here, nigga." So I'm hearing the commotion, but I'm hearing Joe's people like, "Come on, get out the store. He just wants you to fuck his ass up." You feel me? So he was like, "Yo, homie, fall back, fall back." I'm through the phone. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I said, "These niggas touched my nephew. I'm airing their ass out." And they left the store. You feel me? They left the store. He left. You know what I mean? That's all I could hear. You can't tell what's going on really through the phone. I just heard my nephew go off on him. You know what I'm saying? And him telling my nephew, he's a punk clone. You feel me?